After Kim's, I got fired for stealing, basically.
Whoa.
Shortly
We got
after.
there for a second. What's the story there? What were you stealing? Records?
No,
money,
just cash. Yeah,
cards?
money.
Why were you stealing cash? For the fun? Because you needed it?
Yeah, a bit of both. I mean, of course, I said I needed it. I used it to buy things like cameras and other recording equipment, instruments and stuff. But it was more because it was something mean to do. And at that point, I was very excited by doing very pointed, mean stuff to other people.
This is really interesting.
I've talked about this stuff before, but it usually doesn't come up. You know, I'm not proud of it, obviously. And
sure. But what's interesting to me about this is that the person or the persona or the Andrew W.K, let's say that, the Andrew W.K that I come to understand now today is someone who's very positive, and I would never think of as someone who would, steal or, to use your terms, do something mean. What was going on then while you were, and this is the days when you were coming here to Amarin, that you would be doing something mean on purpose?
I don't know, actually, exactly why. I think it's an impulse that everyone has to some degree, and different people react to it differently. And yes, maybe there are people that really truly don't have that impulse. I'm not going to lump everybody in with my low urges, but to me it was very hard to suppress that desire to harm people, or even things in general, just to do bad stuff, or what we would call bad stuff. And I knew I couldn't keep going in that route, and actually I ended up getting mugged on my way to work at Kim's shortly before I was
in New York City, or
yeah, in New York, at the 3rd Avenue, an old train stop, 3rd Avenue, 14th Street, on my way walking up the stairs at 3:30 in the afternoon. Beautiful day, much like today, and a gentleman pushed me up against the wall, and he pulled a knife and he put it in my face. And at that time, actually, especially on the G train, there was a lot of face slashing going on. It was, I don't know if you remember that, it was just sort of like a trend. God forbid there's violent trends, but it was sort of a thing that you did. I don't know if they said it was gang initiations, they said it was the way people would mug without having to have a confrontation. You just cut the person real quick and then take the stuff. So I thought that was what was about to happen, and I was very lucky that he didn't harm me, cut me, or do anything other than strong arm me. And I gave him actually, I just cashed my paycheck, so I had about $160. He also took my watch. It literally was a $15 digital watch, and he asked for my subway tokens, and that was it.
Was this the turning point for you?
It was, yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah,
What made this the turning point?
Well, it felt really bad that he took my stuff, so I thought I shouldn't take other people's stuff anymore. So that was the end of that. And then in a longer process, I thought, well, it started with my mom, thinking my mom worked so hard to be a good mom, and if I can't stop doing bad things for my own sense of morality or ethics, maybe I'll do it for my mom, because it would really disappoint her and cause her a lot of grief to see that I'm doing all these mean things. So I started by trying to be better for my mom. Really, in theory,
That's really touching. Was there a conversation that you had with your mom that sort of spurred this? Because you could have thought that at any time before the mugging, right?
No, that's true. No, it was a gradual. Those urges would come up, and when you can recognize an urge, you can sort of grapple with it for a moment. Should I do this thing or not? Should I follow this impulse or not? And I had to find some little game to play with myself to not go through with it. And it was easy, very, very easy to just say, oh, Mom would be really mad if I did that.
Right.
And that doesn't work for everybody, and it isn't even necessarily good to use someone else as your gatekeeper, but I figured that she was the best thing I had at that point, and I really did want to not do these things anymore, get control over that impulse. And then I just realized that the longer turning point, these things happen over weeks, months, and maybe even years, was that, hey, here's this whole industry where all these urges can be used in a good way. you know, and that's when I decided to do this. So.
Okay, so this whole industry, what do you mean? The music industry?
Well, yeah, entertainment,
Performance,
culture,
entertainment?
yeah, just the living arts or whatever they would say.
So that's interesting. So this sort of origin story of the Andrew W.K. we know today is somewhat tied to this mugging, this grappling of what would mom think, and then this realization that you have where, okay, I can take these negative feelings, these negative impulses, and sort of celebrate them in a healthy way as an entertaining rocker, king of party. Is that right?
Yeah, and just rather than working on a presentation that makes people feel bad, I'll work on a presentation that cheers people up, including myself. So I don't want to be bummed out all the time. I couldn't keep feeling that way. It's tiring, you know. For the most part, it's just exhausting. So I wanted to get cheered up. I thought, what's the most cheerful thing I can think of? It was partying, so I said, I'll just do that. That's just going to be what I do from now on.
You know what's strange is an image just jumped into my head. The iconic Andrew W.K. image of the blood
The nosebleed thing.
coming down the face, right? Nosebleed. Okay?
Yeah.
So one could look at that as like, you know, partying, but also one could look at that as like post-mugging almost, you know? Like I see this connection all of a sudden in my head.
I didn't think of
Is
that.
that crazy?
No, it's not crazy. And again, I'm very thankful to that gentleman for not harming me. He easily could have. You know, not even cut me. He could have, like you're saying, could have punched me in the nose or, you know, mashed me down or whatever. But he didn't. So I'm very thankful.